KBLA Talk 1580. You know what time it is. Reminding me of my dad right now. What time is it? It's nation time. What time is it? It's reparations time. We do this second hour of every single Friday. And I'm happy to invite back into the conversation someone that we've spoken with one time before. He is a dedicated reparationist. He's a pastor at the Empowerment Temple AME Church in Baltimore, Maryland. And he is doing what he can to create a culture of repair. He's been a Reparations Commissioner of the Reinvestment and Reparations Group for the city of Baltimore, Maryland. Dr. Robert Richard Allen Turner is joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I guess we had a little miscommunication. I was thinking you were going to be live in studio, but apparently you are on the other end of the West Coast in
I know, my apologies.
in the Bay Area there. What is your mission in the Bay Area in San Francisco this week?
San Francisco has a history of being a progressive city historically, and right now they are looking into reparatory work, and I'm working with some churches here at grassroots level to just equip them with knowledge, information on reparations. I'm also here to discuss my book, and I'll be speaking Sunday morning at a church service here at one of the historic black churches.
Do you feel like the churches are specifically right now I'm talking about the black church, although we have heard some stuff coming from some denominations that aren't black around reparations. Do you feel the black church is moving more towards supporting reparations in general? I mean, I know this is one of your life missions, but the average pastor is not doing reparations marches.
Yeah, no, I agree. For the most part, unfortunately, a lot of them are so caught up living hand to mouth, just trying to make it. They're only that their focus politically has not been as comprehensive to think through. But I can say for the denomination that I am a part of, the African Methodist Episcopal Church, the oldest predominantly black denomination in America, at our last general conference where the whole body meets every 4 years, I wrote a resolution that passed unanimously, which called for our denomination to stand in full-fledged support for reparations, not just in America, but across the world. And that's that. But before the UN vote, our denomination's vote stood as the first time that the world, even though it was a faith tradition, came out in support of reparations.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you have to lobby a lot? I mean, I remember we were talking about the situation there, in Maryland around the governor and whether or not the governor was going to be supporting reparations, and the lobbying that y'all did to overturn the governor's veto. Was it like that in passing that resolution for the AME churches? Were people pretty receptive, or were you back there, praying over people and twisting arms and performing exorcisms? Like, how did that go down?
Well, the hardest part was because of all of the machinations within the church. The hardest part was really just getting recognized from the floor, because there were so many other bills and things that they wanted to address. But once I got recognized and read my resolution, it passed overwhelmingly. Like we had about 1,700 delegates there. It was voted on by over 1,563 people, and only got like about 40 nay votes, which I'm trying to figure out who were the 40 nays. But
So you can pray for them.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, so that's a big step symbolically, right? I mean, to your point, not every church, not every denomination, but for Black folks, getting an endorsement by the AME Church of reparations is quite significant because a lot of us are in the AME Church.
Hmm. Very significant, and I wish, as we talk about media, and that's why I appreciate your radio show, Dominique. It's just really refreshing. I wish it had gotten picked up by more outlets because that was such major news. It was picked up by a few of the reparations groups across the country, but as far as mainstream media, it was not picked up. And I really do now think that is by design. Like the news media, especially the white-owned news media, and a lot of the white anchors don't really want to talk about this because it's almost as though they want to keep it off the minds of Black people. The same way that during enslavement, they didn't want to talk about the beautiful riches, the beauty and the riches of the continent of Africa because they didn't want that on the minds of the Africans. Now they don't want to talk about the movement, the real live movement that we have for reparations, because they don't want Black folks to see that as a plausible cause worth fighting for.
Do you think the AME Church resolution, which you wrote in support of reparations, does have the potential to influence other denominations? Is that something you're working on, a little behind the scenes pastoral lobbying?
Yeah, that's the goal, right? And to be honest with you, some of the mainline white denominations have come out in support of, like the Episcopal Church has come out in support of it. I wish that Black people would encourage their faith traditions because all of us have annual or some type of meeting that we come together, National Baptist Convention, Progressive Baptist Convention, Church of God in Christ, have these annual convenings, and I'll be more than happy to come to share as a guest. But I think we have to the church is in the position, is in the state is in, for better or for worse, because of its membership. The church reflects its membership, and people either leave the church or people just don't push their church or their pastors to support a certain issue, then it won't happen.
Yeah, that's a great point. If people wanted to reach out to you, like to be a speaker at their church, maybe influence the congregation toward reparations, I mean, that's really the grassroots thing, right? When the congregation starts influencing the pastors, or even, the broader church sort of governance bodies, that's the definition of grassroots organizing. And reparations, from my observation, every little bit of progress has come from the grassroots, much more than from the top down. So how would they do that if they wanted to reach out to you, invite you to be a speaker?
Well, of course, on social media, I can be reached at REVDR Robert Turner, REVDR Robert Turner. Also on my email, pastorturner@etame.net. is also used, but so I have a really jealous spam folder. So I tell folks to shoot me a message on my social media, probably be better than email, even though email is much more professional. But my spam folder, I get calls all the time when I go out to speaking engagements. I've emailed you, and I never get it. Then I check my spam folder, it's in there.
Reverend Dr. Robert Turner is our guest. He's a millennial pastor who is pushing hard for reparations. We'll find out what are some of the other ways and means that he is doing so by when we come forward. It's a Freedmen Friday on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, This is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
When the story gets twisted, who's going to tell the truth? When they cut the microphones, who's still talking? When history gets rewritten, who remembers what really happened? We do. KBLA Talk 1580. Black media isn't just important right now, it's essential. Because when mainstream outlets move on, we stay. When the headlines ignore our communities, we don't. When decisions are being made that affect Black lives in our schools, our neighborhoods, our economy, KBLA is in the room. This is more than radio. This is a lifeline, a record, a rallying cry. Black stories, Black voices, Black power.
The heat is on.
On the air and in the culture. KBLA Talk 1580. Stay connected. Stay informed. Stay loud.
Stand up.
Roger and Tracy saved over $18,400. Cynthia was recovering from a family tragedy and saved over $10,300. If you are drowning in debt, then call Debt Blue. Debt Blue is a professional debt negotiation firm with over 20 years of experience helping people pay back a fraction of what they owe. Learn how to cut your debt up to half or maybe more. Be debt-free in 24 to 48 months, even with bad credit. With an A+ rating from the BBB, you can rest easy knowing Debt Blue is going to deliver guaranteed debt reduction. Debt Blue offers a success guarantee. You pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved. That's right, you save money or it's free. Call now for significant debt relief and a free consultation. 800-200-8879. That's 800-200-8879. You don't have to declare bankruptcy. This program works if you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in debt. Call for your free consultation today. 800-200-8879. That's 800-200-8879.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Right now, we are talking reparations like we do every Friday. Dr. Robert Turner is our guest today. And one of the things that you have done is march in support of reparations. Do you think, we always hear the argument, marching, protesting doesn't make a difference. Are you seeing the results? How are they manifesting for you in the organizing work, hitting the streets?
Yeah, I have, and thank you for asking that. I, over the past few years now, have walked each month from Baltimore to the White House in Washington, D.C., 40 times. I've walked,
Wow.
it's 42.9 miles each walk. And in some of the walks, I went even further and walked to the Smithsonian. And these were done all in one day. And I did the walk from Selma to Montgomery, which is 54 miles in one day. And I just recently completed a walk from Warren County, North Carolina to Raleigh in one day, highlighting the environmental justice movement that really began in North Carolina. And my next walk is on April 23rd in Virginia. And so I did the walk from D.C. 40 times, and now I'm going across the country to every state in the union And of course, I will be coming to California. I haven't gotten that date yet, but I certainly will let you know when I do. But while I've been doing these walks, Dominique, I have seen God work, right? And I've seen, as what I feel in my heart, I walk, He works.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen in Maryland with the passage of the Reparations Commission bill and the overturn of the veto, which hardly ever happens to a governor. I've seen it now even across the world with the United Nations work that has happened, that resolution, in spite of what America, Israel, and Argentina, and the 52 European nations that abstain. And I feel that I will continue to see it across the country as I walk God Works, and also doing some advocacy while I do the walk. So now I'm starting a nonprofit. I've also created petitions for each of the states that I'm going to be walking in, having people sign on to it.
What are they signing for? Well, like you say, the petition. What are they petitioning for?
Petitioning their state to, if they have not done reparatory work or commission or initiatives, because it doesn't have to be a commission everywhere, but whatever they can do to start doing that, and to encourage cities and municipalities, because we have cities where Black folk have suffered in.
Yeah. Pastor Turner, are you there?
And in spite of the state they're in or the nations they're in, can do some work on their own. Like San Francisco, like they're doing reparatory, or they're beginning the process to do it. And I think that model, that like you mentioned earlier, the grassroots model, starting not from the top down, but from the bottom up, I think is the only way true change happens.
Yeah. Especially in the reparations space, which is somewhere that a lot of politicians find perilous. I mean, not good for their future ambitions type of thing. So it's not just about a mass march or raising awareness. It's, for you, it almost sounds like a prayer. You're walking and you're praying. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly what it is. I mean, you get it. Like you hit the nail on the head. So that's why, to me, because people have criticized me when, you don't have many people walking with you. Well, it's really hard to convince folks to walk 40 miles in one day. But B, it's not about the crowd. It's never been about the crowd to me. It's been about me keeping my vow to the Lord. And while I walk, He works. And I've seen it, and I am seeing it. And it may look strange, but I'm sure if you read the Old Testament and you see how the Israelites walked around the walls of Jericho 7 times, they probably looked very strange to folks too. And when you saw the Israelites walking toward the Red Sea, they looked strange too. And then all of a sudden, God parted the waters. So I just feel like if I walk, I know God will work.
Yeah. And your book is called Creating a Culture of Repair. This came out a couple years ago, I think. What role do you feel this is meant to play in winning reparations or moving the needle? Well, I guess the subtitle is Taking Action on the Road to Reparations.
Yeah, so the excuse I used to get, and still do in a lot of times, and the response I normally get, even from some liberals, right, is, what do y'all want? It's like very crass, asking as though we don't really know what type of reparation we can do. Now, while this is not to be a mandate, these are suggestions, but in my book, I list over 100 ways that repair can be done, and I list them from the easiest things that can be done to the hardest, right? The easiest things are listed in the individual forms. That's the first chapter, individual repair. Very easy, low-hanging fruit. People, like individual people who are tired of waiting on their government, what individual people can do. Then the next chapter, I think, lists the things that societies can do, like different community organizations. That's a little bit harder than individual, but it's still not as difficult as the government. But things that organizations, communities, nonprofits, can do, right? Even schools, what they can do for repair. The third chapter, institution reparations, is the really meat of what I call comprehensive reparations that describes what institutions like the government are like, NGOs, what departments, what different agencies, what different cabinets within the government can do. And all of them are tied to direct harms that happen in America. And it covers things from our justice system to our medical, our health, and of course financial, our mortgage. It covers transportation, urban removal. It covers the certain holidays we have, veterans. It covers, a whole gauntlet. Of course, voting rights, and things like banning the box and forfeitures. It covers a lot. And then the fourth and final chapter is also, somewhat difficult, but it's called spiritual reparations. And to me, the first three get at the policy. The last one really gets to the heart. And it speaks to what faith traditions, who unfortunately, and if truth be told, help uphold this institution of enslavement and the undergirding theology behind it, which is white supremacy. It talks about how we can eradicate that and how the church, the faith traditions, can repair the harm that they cause. And that's the fourth and final chapter. And then I have an appendix to help show people how in real time where they are, they can do the work that is asked or suggested in this book. And then my publisher created a study guide, which is an accompaniment, which is free. You can just download it offline, print it off, and have a group study guide on the book. And I've even offered folks who, especially if people know you or watch your show, I've even offered Zoom or in-person speaking opportunities for folks. That's why I'm in San Francisco, because I put an offer out to a pastor who purchased the book and want me to come over and speak about it. So I'll be speaking about it tomorrow.
Amazing. So it sounds like you're talking about what should happen in reparations, but also what we can do to make that happen. So it's a combination. And, there are lots of books on reparations, and we could always use more. But it sounds like you're trying to bring them to life by taking the show on the road.
Exactly. Most of the books that I've read on reparations speak to the need and the why. And I respect those books. I read those books. Those books are part of my scholarship and bibliography for my book. But very rarely do you see a book that is so detail-oriented on solutions. Like, what solutions can we bring about from this issue? And so this book tries to bring those solutions on what reparations looks like beyond just, because everybody talks about the check, right? And I agree, cut the check. But beyond the check, what are some forms of reparations? So if I'm just a newly selected or appointed commissioner on a commission across the country, what are some ideas that I could pull from? And so this book is a ready-made source. Or if I'm a community activist and I want to do something on my own, what are some ideas I can find and support? This book can help. Or if I'm just an individual who's in remote North Dakota somewhere and I want to do some stuff on my individual basis, what are some actions? Then, I found some in this book.
Absolutely. Reverend Dr. Robert Turner is our guest. Hold that thought. We'll get to it after news, traffic, and sports right here. It's a Freedmen Friday on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Bahamas police have arrested the husband of a Michigan woman who disappeared after reportedly falling off a boat. His black attorney, Terrell Butler, says he denies any wrongdoing.
He was very cooperative and he seemed very sad and heartbroken. He was focusing again on the fact that he needed to know what happened to his wife.
55-year-old Lynette Hooker's family questions his account. Maryland has reached a partial settlement with the owners of the cargo ship that hit Baltimore's Key Bridge. Black Attorney General Anthony Brown said the agreement covers only a portion of the state's claims. The crash killed 6 people last year, and the state says rebuilding could cost up to $5 billion. And rapper Offset is facing a lawsuit from Detroit's Motor City Casino. TMZ reports the venue claims he owes about $100,000 and is suing for breach of contract and fraud. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Are you looking for your next European adventure? Think Poland. From its historic cities to all of the UNESCO landmarks and its incredible food. Modern, safe, welcoming. Get inspired at Poland.travel.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers finally got a win without Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. They were in San Francisco Thursday night. They beat Golden State 119-103. The Lakers were 0-3 without Doncic and Reeves. LeBron stepped up with a strong performance, 26 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton also stepped up with 21 points. Ayton made 9 of 11 shots. The Lakers are back in town tonight to play Phoenix. Very important game for the Clippers tonight in Portland. The Clippers need a win to hold on to the 8th spot in the play-in round. They have a 1-game lead over Portland. If the Clippers lose, they fall into the 9th spot with 1 game remaining in the regular season. Teams in the 9th and 10th spot in the play-in round have to win 2 games to make the playoffs. The Dodgers are back in town after a 5-1 road trip. They start a 6-game homestand tonight against Texas. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Bakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Can we just talk?
You've heard me say it before, how we talk to one another matters. Earlier this year, we launched our first cohort, and I'm grateful to those who leaned in early and helped to shape the work. Now I'm inviting you to join me for a new live seminar, The Practice of Dialogue, Becoming a More Effective Communicator. This is a small group experience designed to help you strengthen how you communicate in your work, your relationships, and your everyday life. Space is limited to keep the experience personal and interactive. So if you're ready to take your communication to the next level, now is the time to focus on the skills that make conversations meaningful. The new 4-week cohort begins Monday, May 4th, and there's a nice discount for early bird registrants. Visit TavishTalks.com to learn more and reserve your place today. That's TavishTalks.com, because better conversations don't just happen, we practice them.
The joint will be jumping.
Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Fig Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. Foot stomping, heart stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
Reverend Dr. Robert Turner is a reparationist out of Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, and we are talking Freedmen Friday things. He's in San Francisco at the moment doing more work around reparations. You did mention, Dr. Turner, the historic UN resolution that passed a couple weeks ago, put forth and championed by Ghana, but passed by an overwhelming majority of the UN General Assembly, which means the whole floor, everybody that's part of the United Nations, and of course the United States, Israel, and Argentina, which is quite a conservative government there at this moment, were the nay votes, but it passed overwhelmingly. What did you make of this? What do you think this means for Black Americans in this movement and for the movement globally?
It means to me that we have more support than we realize, but it may not be from the same traditional spaces that we thought. And I think that we should use that international support to push further and push harder, even within our own local context.
Even though we are facing an administration, a federal government that is clearly hostile to the idea. I mean, the president openly condemned reparations, and specifically in terms of the UN at a speech late last year. So you don't think that that's a factor? Some people say lay low and wait for more favorable conditions.
No. Just like the African nations did not lay low, and the Central American nations did not lay low. They presented this bill, and it passed. Right? It didn't just get. We sometimes, especially in America, we just get happy to get stuff out of committee, on the floor.
Yeah,
we want to just get out of committee. That's a win for most activists. No, it didn't just get presented. It got presented and it passed, in spite of all the major world powers that were against it. To me, that's like news. Nobody, but they don't want to talk about it because that's a major defeat to the nations. You had some of the most powerful nations in the world who voted against or abstained on this resolution, but it still passed anyway. And I think that what this bill passage should show Black people, the same thing that people like Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey knew in their time. Black people across the diaspora, we cannot let our nations tell us who our enemies are, nor who our friends are. America tries to depict itself as a friend to Black folks. Obviously, she's not. And tries to depict countries in Europe as friends to Americans, maybe to white Americans, but not to Black Americans. And that UN vote showed it for everybody to see. And so, in my personal humble opinion, is those nations that couldn't vote for us to even recognize the grave inhumanity of the transatlantic slave trade. If you can't even recognize that, then why am I breaking my neck to tour Paris or go to London? Why? Why am I trying to do stuff for nations that care less about my ancestry and my humanity? I won't.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it. Support those that support us. It's not rocket science, but Haven't heard a lot of discussion around that. I do think that it's being underreported because, in my perspective, and I'd love to hear your thought on this, the fact that some of those European nations, like the UK, that have refused to acknowledge or take action. Well, I guess they've acknowledged, but they've refused to take action on reparations. The fact that they abstained rather than voting against is a victory in itself, because you know that there was a lot of pressure within those nations to vote against reparations.
Oh yeah. Well, my dad always would say, he got from an old politician in Alabama, because I'm originally from Tuskegee, Alabama. In this world, there is nothing neutral but a yellow line on the highway. That's it. Everything else takes a side, and you cannot be neutral on issues of my humanity. I'm sorry. Like, that should be, to me, a non-question. The humanity of black people, the suffering of black people, for that to be something you can just abstain or be neutral on, nah, that's just like being neutral on should somebody be alive. Do people have the right to live?
Right. Well, I'm neutral on that. I'm not going to take a position. That's between you and God. If you have a right to live, yeah, it's an apt comparison. And how do we build on this? How do we press the line? Push forward. Like you said, this has shown an international kind of support for the reparations movement and concepts, which have been constantly denigrated and made to seem like pie in the sky or unreasonable by certain elements of society. How do we build on this victory, this international victory, inside the UN?
We have to give it oxygen. The only way fire can burn is if you give it oxygen. We have to give it oxygen. That's why, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on your show, but we have to uplift those who elevate our story. The fact that, I don't know for how long you've been doing these Reparation Fridays, it's incredible. Like, it is incredible.
2 years now. This is our second year.
2 years.
Yeah.
That every Friday. I mean, that is huge. And to me, that should be like done, shown or played internationally, right? Like, people should be tuning in all across the world to your Fridays, to everyday show, but especially your Friday show, because you are the only consistent radio voice that I've ever heard of that's been doing this. And so I think we need to do more things like this. The only way mainstream media, because they do only care about the clicks and the views, will pay attention to our stories, is if we start paying attention to our stories, and only our stories. Like, if it ain't reparations, we ain't watching it. We ain't not talking about it. But we get so distracted by what dress somebody wore, who made the latest diss album, what somebody had to eat. We get so caught up on small distractions that we really miss the main course. And that's why we continuously are being served on the plate.
Mm-hmm. I take the note from Dick Gregory, may he rest in peace. When we used to talk about reparations, he would always say the first thing we have to do is normalize it, make it people realize that this is not something outrageous. It's not something fringe. It's something the United States has done over and over and over and over again, just not for black people.
That's right. That's a fact. And to me, I think it's also it's about our self-worth. I don't think a lot of us internally in our heart, because we've taken on white supremacy and blackface. And one part of that white supremacy and blackface is not just being an Uncle Tom, right? We always characterize folk who are Uncle Toms as white supremacy and blackface. But no, white supremacy and blackface it also can describe black people who may not be Uncle Toms, but don't feel that their suffering, don't feel that their value is equal to that of anybody else. So they don't talk about their suffering. They don't talk about their need for redress or restitution or reparations, because in their minds, in their mind is based on white supremacist thought, they really don't deserve it. Part of my speech when I go out to places is just reminding black people that you deserve justice too. Like, we are legitimately citizens of this nation, right? We built this nation, right? We pay taxes in this nation. So why shouldn't we get something of what we've already paid? It's never going to be enough, but why can't we fight for something? And it's like a light bulb oftentimes goes off in our minds. Like, yeah, you're right. We either been enslaved in this nation or paying taxes to this nation for over 400 years. So if anybody has the right to anything, it's us. And we've been enslaved to a nation that got rich off of our bodies, paid taxes to a government that gave us subpar, if at best second class, treatment.
Yeah. We're talking with Reverend Dr. Robert Turner. We're talking reparations. I want to hear when we come forward about what is next in Baltimore, what has happened post-veto of Governor Wes Moore's shutting down of the reparations legislation there. I know you were a big part of organizing to rebuke the governor's veto, so where did y'all go from there? That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. At the heart of the Al Wooten Center's mission for good citizenship and academic excellence is a desire to ensure that every student avoids the kind of lifestyle and overcomes the kinds of challenges that led to the murder of Al Wooten Jr. In 1990, founder Myrtle Faye Rumpf opened the center in honor of her son's life. In 2026, they are serving more than 300 students in grades 3 through 12 annually online and on site at their youth center and other sites in the South LA area. The Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center takes a neighborhood approach to the revitalization and empowerment of a community in crisis. The Wooten Center provides free after-school and summer programs to help students in grades 3 through 12 attain grade-level proficiency and promotion, high school graduation, and college and career access and success. The Al Wooten Center focuses on academics, STEM, the arts, and so much more. Join them for an enriching experience that sparks creativity and nurtures young minds. Tap in at wootencenter.org. That's wootencenter.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
When temperatures climb, LADWP wants to help you stay cool indoors, starting in your attic. With quality attic insulation, your home can stay more comfortable during hot summer days and help lower your energy bills year-round. It's a smart way to save. And for a limited time, LADWP has increased the attic insulation rebates to make upgrading more affordable. Act now to start saving. Visit ladwp.com/attic. That's ladwp.com/attic. From station to stage, LA Metro connects you to the artistic heart of Los Angeles. Celebrate this National Arts Month with Metro, exploring galleries, theaters, and cultural spaces across the city. Art isn't just where you end up, it's how you get there.
Hey, LA. Tax money is our money. Let's decide how to spend it together. We deserve investments that actually make our neighborhoods safe, like affordable housing, good jobs, fire prevention and protection, and community support programs. How can we make that happen? Join Black Lives Matter Los Angeles and the Movement for Black Lives for the People's Budget Assembly on April 16th. Together, we'll discuss solutions to problems we're facing and make a plan with fellow Angelenos for a city that works for the people. There'll be food, childcare, and great conversation. It's time to demand a budget that puts the people first. Join us on April 16th at 7 p.m. at BLMLA's Center for Black Power and make your voice heard before the Assembly through the People's Budget Survey. Register today at peoplesbudgetla.com. We'll see you there.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Created with a share of the 1984 Olympic Games surplus, LA 84 began operations in 1985 as a grant-making and educational foundation. Today, the LA 84 Foundation supports hundreds of nonprofit youth sports organizations throughout Southern California annually, trains coaches, commissions research, convenes conferences, and maintains the world's premier Olympic and sports library collection. They are transforming lives and communities through the power of youth sports. To find out about youth sports programs for yourself or your child, and to get information about the grants and support they offer to schools and nonprofits, or if you want to make a donation, please visit la84.org. That's la84.org. Or you can call them at 323-730-4600. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
And today, its scholarly match is you and me on a Freedmen Friday, and the Reverend Dr. Robert Turner. He's a pastor at the Empowerment Temple AME Church in Baltimore, also a longtime reparationist and an author, creating a culture of repair, taking action on the road to reparations. You're a commissioner in the city of Baltimore. In the reparations space, we know that the governor vetoed a statewide commission, and then he said, well, it's not time for more studies, it's time for more action, but we didn't see any action. At least I haven't seen any yet. But you all organized and overturned the governor's veto. What happens next?
All right. Since the overturn happened, which I want to commend the Maryland General Assembly, who grassroots, right? They collaborated, they organized, and they got 2/3 majority needed to overturn the governor's veto. Now the problem is the language in the bill says that the governor has to appoint people for the commission. That has not happened yet, and so now there's some other changes coming forth within Maryland legislature, which is their last week is this week, so their last day is today, and I have to get updates on what passed today. But they're going to, from my understanding, make changes where they can actually make some appointments too.
So is the governor slow walking the appointments, or he just hasn't gotten to it, or do we know?
You know, he has not stated. He has not stated, and I don't know. I just know that it was overturned in December. This is now April, and no persons have been appointed yet. I'm confident that by the month's end, either by his action or the General Assembly's action, appointments will be made. It just has not happened yet.
So that it sounds like you guys are still lobbying and organizing, even though that veto has been overturned, to continue to move the commission forward. Yes,
absolutely. We are. This is not going to die for lack of commission appointees. that I can say for certain. People in the General Assembly are very passionate about this issue. We've organized together, worked hard, lobbied together on this issue. I personally sent emails to every Democratic member of the General Assembly in Maryland to help get this bill overturned, to get the veto overturned. It was over 100 plus emails, and that wasn't like a CC to all of them, to all members at one time. It was an individual email sent to all 100, I think, in 17 plus Democratic members of the Maryland General Assembly.
So you guys remain committed, and we did talk about how you were able to turn some folks around who were on the fence, and definitely got a strong support. You have to overturn a gubernatorial veto.
Yeah.
What has been the public reaction to that overturning of the veto?
Very happy, very happy. I have not spoken to a person that was disappointed that the governor's veto got overturned. Everyone was so happy. First, they were shocked that it was vetoed in the first place, but very happy that the veto was overturned. Overwhelming, like they got more votes to overturn it than they needed. It was just that popular.
And what do we need to know? I mean, as far as supporting the efforts of the people of Maryland, but also, ensuring or shoring up the efforts in our own hometowns.
Mm-hmm. I think that we on this issue of reparations, right? You can't take for granted anything from anybody. So politicians who may be in favor of certain progressive initiatives, that is not a predictor. They would also be in support of reparations.
I think we learned that here in California the hard way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just because people are, they use the word progressive, right? That's progressive on all things except for black folks. And so you have to just really press your case to traditional allies, and to your own people, like to your own black people, oftentimes, because as I mentioned earlier about the white supremacy and blackface, not Uncle Tom white supremacy and blackface, but just the lack of self-worth, and you cannot take any days off. Like every day. That's why I admire your work, because it's every week you talk about this. We cannot take any time off from discussing this issue. Governor Westmore knows each time he sees me, I'm going to talk to him in some sort about the cost of reparations. It's just like, hey, how you doing? What's up with reparations? Like that's a part of my conversation when I talk to him in these events. And so I think we have to remind every elected official, I don't care if they come into your house, a birthday party, or a funeral, whatever, let's talk about reparations. Let's get this done. The same way our other friends and other communities talk about their issues on a regular basis. It could be St. Patrick's Day, and they're talking about their issues. We need to be the same way when it comes to reparations. Every month should be Black History Month, if that's what it takes for us to get reparations.
Thank you. Well, it's been a great conversation. As per usual, Reverend Dr. Robert Turner, tell folks how to get the book, how to track the work, or if they want to walk 40 miles with you, how to do that.
Yes. Our social media, Rev Dr. Robert Turner, email Pastor Turner at etame.net. If you just type in Creating a Culture of Repair on any search engine, you'll see the book pop up. But love to come also to your organizations and cities and states and whatnot to talk more about it.
Okay, we've got 60 seconds, Pastor. What would you like to leave us with?
I love you. I appreciate you. Your show is the bomb. Keep fighting for our people and for the great folks in L.A. Go Lakers. We beat the Warriors. I went to the game last night. Beat up on them.
You're in San Francisco. You might want to say that a little more quietly.
Oh, you're right.
At Rev Dr. Robert Turner on all platforms, and of course look for the book Creating a Culture of Repair, Taking Action on the Road to Reparations. A pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, one day perhaps I'll get to walk those 40 miles. We got to start training mile. 40 miles for 40 acres. We've got to focus on women's health, Black women's health in particular when we come forward. It's a Friday. Happy Friday from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Bahamas police have arrested the husband of a Michigan woman who disappeared after reportedly falling off a boat. His black attorney, Terrell Butler, says he denies any wrongdoing.
He was very cooperative and he seemed very sad and heartbroken. He was focusing again on the fact that he needed to know what happened to his wife.
55-year-old Lynette Hooker's family questions his account. Maryland has reached a partial settlement with the owners of the cargo ship that hit Baltimore's Key Bridge. Like Attorney General Anthony Brown said, the agreement covers only a portion of the state's claims. The crash killed 6 people last year, and the state says rebuilding could cost up to $5 billion. And rapper Offset is facing a lawsuit from Detroit's Motor City Casino. TMZ reports the venue claims he owes about $100,000 and is suing for breach of contract and fraud. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Are you looking for your next European adventure? Think Poland. From its historic cities to all of the UNESCO landmarks and its incredible food. Modern, safe, welcoming. Get inspired at Poland.travel.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers finally got a win without Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. They were in San Francisco Thursday night. They beat Golden State 119-103. The Lakers were 0-3 without Doncic and Reeves. LeBron stepped up with a strong performance, 26 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton also stepped up with 21 points. Ayton made 9 of 11 shots. The Lakers are back in town tonight to play Phoenix.